Bridget, so many people come to this channel and they have credit issues. They've screwed something up or they just don't have any credit established at all. You got to have a good story of somebody who you've helped get through a tough time.
I have a lot of good stories, Joe. One comes to mind specifically. I would say last year I had a couple that came in. They made a decent amount of money. Their credit score was in the 500s. And it was something where I looked at their credit and I analyzed it. I looked at it with a fine tooth comb. I'm like, okay, this is how much money they have in their bank account. Not very much. They were just using their credit every single month. Everything was going on credit cards. They had some late payments, which my biggest tip is make your payments on time. That's not something that I can fix for you. That's just something that you have to fix yourself. Mm-hmm. But what I ended up doing for them, so their credit was in the 500s. They were not able to qualify for anything at that time. Is what we did was we took out a personal loan. So took out a personal loan, which was new credit, which that can affect your score in a negative way, but we paid off so many of their loans and credit cards. And we got those payments, we got those balances down to a place where it was going to skyrocket their credit score. So they took out a personal loan, paid some of them off, paid some of them down. I told them specifically, this one we need to pay off, this one we need to pay down, this one we can close out, this one I need you to keep. We don't want to get rid of this one because this is your oldest credit card. We want to keep these ones, but these ones we want to close off. Sure. And in a short amount of time, took out this loan, paid off most of their debt. Their debt to income ratio was at a very low level at that point. Even with that new loan, the payments, you can do a 5 or 10 year loan. Your payments are spread out over 5 or 10 years and get that puppy paid off really quick.
I got to imagine their interest rates went down too of what they were paying with a bunch of credit cards.
Oh, significantly. Their interest rates went down. Their monthly payments dropped, where it became more manageable for them. Sure. And then they didn't have 10 or 15 payments that they were making each month on these credit cards and loans.
Sure.
So it was a great outcome for them. Their credit score skyrocketed to 700. They were able to buy their house. And then the awesome thing is the more that you get that stuff paid down and the longer that stuff is like off your credit, we can even refinance and lower your interest rate in the future as well. So it was a great story for them. They saved hundreds of thousands of dollars and they were able to get a house. And now their house is worth probably $60,000 more than it was when they bought it.
Nice. That's awesome.
So, yeah.
Okay, let's push pause because I want to unpack this. First of all, the thing that's sticking out to me is they applied with you first and then got your help. Can we just talk to everybody that's watching? I don't care what issues you have. You just got to apply with Bridget or another equally awesome loan officer. You can't just go take out a personal loan and be like, oh, I heard some lady online said to do this, so I'm just going to get another loan. Like, terrible idea. Don't do that. Just apply, because then your loan officer can say, this one, yes, this one, no, this one pay don't close, right? Don't you have like a underwriting system or an algorithm or something where you can run like scenarios? If we do A, B, and C, then we get this, like you guys can know kind of in advance how to do these things, right?
Yes, exactly. We can run a lot of different scenarios and figure out which is best.
Yeah, and it doesn't cost anybody anything. Like, this isn't like some paid service that I'm trying to sell you on. Like, no, just go apply. It's free. It doesn't hurt your credit, but then you can get the outcome that you want versus just like, she said take out a credit card, so I'm gonna just get another credit card and like screw everything all up anymore. So that's the first thing I heard you say. The second thing was with getting a personal loan, just for clarification, is this like a specific debt consolidation loan? Is it through that sort of a company thing, or it's literally just going to your bank and getting a personal loan from your bank?
Just going to your bank, getting a personal loan. We do them at Bell. You can go to your bank if you have a history established there of checking and savings. You can go to any bank, just get a personal loan. Just say, hey, I need this much money. Yeah. Which
I think is very needed for people to hear. You don't have to go to a debt consolidation, credit fixing company, pay them a bunch of money so that they can do the things. You can literally just do it yourself for free with some guided help. And then that'll set you up for the future. Like, you don't make a bunch of money if they go get a personal loan. You don't care if they get a credit card or not. Like, you're just trying to help them to get the best scenario and get that credit up, which is super, super important.
Exactly.
I love that. Okay, so that's for somebody with, with bad credit. One thing I wanted to ask you about with late payments, people need to get current. Is there a specific cutoff? Like you can't have a late payment within 2 months, or it's just the further away it is, the better? What does that look like for somebody that's already got late payments on their credit?
I would say there's not a specific cutoff. Depending on the loan program, there can be, if there's 90-day lates, even some 60-day lates, because the credit report will report anything that's over a 30-day late payment. So if you're 15 days late on your credit card, it's not going to report to the credit agencies. So the 30, 60, 90-day lates. But I would just say those do eventually fall off, and the more time that's passed, the less those are going to affect your score.
Okay, cool. So it's usually more of a sliding scale, maybe for how much they're going to be affecting you.
Yes.
Okay, I love it. And then is there a specific loan program that you like, or we're not concerned with loan programs when credit's an issue, you're just trying to get the credit fixed? Or is there, do we switch to FHA for credit scenarios?
Not necessarily, because conventional, especially as of the last few years, is great even with somebody with a lower credit score.
Mm-hmm.
So it's really just going to depend on, why is your credit score low? FHA is great if your credit score is low and you have high debt to income ratios. There's certain reasons why you would go FHA, but even with a low credit score, I can almost always fit you into some sort of conventional program.
Okay, good. Which I love, because I don't like FHA, because sellers don't like to accept FHA offers because their appraisals are a lot more picky on the condition of the house. So conventional is always a great option. Talk to me, Bridget, about people that maybe they don't have bad credit. They're just young and they just don't have a lot of credit established. How do we get that up? And how long does it take, kind of, from if they just don't have much of a credit score to getting a really good one?
There's a lot of different ways to get it established. I can help you with that. So if you don't have anything on your credit report, I can help you get your credit established. If you have one or two things, I can also give you some advice on maybe taking out one more new credit card, or that you're going to use responsibly. Once you have a new account on your credit and you're using it responsibly, you will start building your credit instantly. You'll see that credit score ticking up more and more, like each day, each year, especially. But yeah, it doesn't take long.
Okay. For someone fixing their credit, like in that story you were telling, how long does that take? I mean, are we talking 2 months? Or are we talking 2 years?
Your financial institution isn't going to necessarily report that day to the credit bureaus. They report once a month. So it may take a month or 30 to 45 days for that to reflect on your credit, just depending on when they're reporting to those credit agencies.
Mm-hmm.
But it's pretty darn quick. Once I can help you through that, I would say within 30 days, you'll,
sure.
And we're able to monitor it for you too. So you can see when it's going up, mm-hmm. and when it's at the point where all those are now zero or lower, wherever they need to be. And then we can go forward with the financing.
One of the other tips that you told me once, Bridget, was that you can get a CD and then take a loan against it. Remind me how that goes and what people can do with that, because that was a pretty cool trick.
Yeah, so you can go to your local bank and take out a CD, certificate of deposit, with your own funds. So let's say you walk in there, you have $500 that you've saved up for. You can open a CD in your own name, and then you can take out a secured loan against that CD. So you'll pull out that $500. You will pay monthly on that $500 towards your own funds. So it's a great way to establish credit. If you have no credit or bad credit, most banks will still give you a loan against a CD, because they have the money right there at the bank. They have that $500 in a secure deposit. Mm-hmm. So it's a great way to establish credit, or even to build if you have bad credit, to start,
sure.
How
long is that loan? Is that like a 2-year or 5-year, or how long of a loan term is that?
It depends on the financial institution, what they are, but yeah, you can do, I would recommend doing a few years. That way it's on your credit for a few years, because the longer we can get that history on your credit, the better.
Sure.
But they may just do like a 12-month term, but I would say do a 5-year if you're able to.
Sure. I mean,
The
those payments
payments-
can't be too much anyways.
No, not at all.
Okay, so let's recap. Basically, if they have bad credit, they should talk to you first and get your credit pulled, because then you can actually see how to help them. You can create the scenario for them, and then you can walk them through. And it generally takes not a lot of time. It could be a few months to a year or something, and then people can have their credit scores built back up considerably. And you can tell them exactly which tips and tricks to do and not to do in order to do that. And it doesn't hurt their credits, and it doesn't cost them anything to work with you to get this done. I mean, does that pretty much cover it?
Exactly. Yeah.
It's pretty simple.
Start with me.
Well, that's a wrap on this conversation with Bridget. Don't forget this is part of a 3-part series, so you can go see some more great content right here. You'll also find her contact information and mine in the description down below, and we look forward to talking to you very soon.